Hello and welcome! Today we will look at the life of a man that was denied everything. Love, vengeance, and hope. Kael'thas Sunstrider. The great-great-grandson of Dathremar and the only son of King Anasterion Sunstrider, the king of Quel'thalas. Now, you see, Kael'thas was a powerful mage, and because of that, he was a member of the Council of Six, the shadowy leaders of the Kirin Tor. Now, when you consider his position as the heir to Quel'thalas and a member of the Six, you start to realize he did have some powerful political influence. Kael'thas would often go from Dalaran back home to Quel'thalas. He was still a prince after all, and he still had a duty to his people and his kingdom, even if his son doubted his double loyalty to both Dalaran and his own kingdom. Now, going back to Kael'thas, while he was going back to Silvermoon, there was one duty that he had as a prince and an heir that he needed to fulfill, and that was searching for a suitable wife. Now, during his youth, he tried to ask for the hand of Sylvanas Windrunner, but she refused him. Now, this would not be the first time he gets refused, or the first time Sylvanas refuses him. Now let's jump a little in time. This happened before the Second War. A human would join the Farstriders. Now, the Farstriders are the Elven Ranger Corps. They have many duties, but for now, that's irrelevant. The human is, as many of you might expect, Nathanos Maris. Now, note one thing, Kael'thas was not pleased. The Elven Prince was not one bit pleased to know that a human had joined the Farstriders. And so, from Dalaran, he sent a letter to Sylvanas to dismiss him from the Farstriders. Now, we don't really know what Kael'thas wrote to her, but we know what answer he received back. Kael'thas Sunstrider dissension in regards to my decision to allow Nathanos Maris into the Order is noted. It should also be noted that Nathanos, although a human, is one of the most gifted rangers I have ever had the pleasure of training. For millennia we have isolated ourselves from outsiders. I will be the first among us to admit that mistakes were made in the past. Humans should have never been exposed to magic. I will not deny this, but I will not condemn us to this guarded existence for blunders of our predecessors. There is much that the coexistence between the Quel'thalas and other races of the world can bring. We must practice tolerance. It is with these words, then, that I deny Kael's request in regards to Nathanos Maris. He will prove to be an invaluable ally. Mark my words. Signed, Sylvanas Windrunner, Ranger General of Silvermoon. Let's move a little bit in time, but stay still around before the start of the Second War. Now, remember, Kael'thas was a member of the Six, and from his position in the Six, Kael'thas would be part of the interrogation of Khadgar, regarding what he saw in Karazhan and the truth of what happened to Medivh. Now, you see, Kael'thas would be sympathetic to Khadgar's plight, and especially to his exhaustion, realizing that they've kind of put him through a lot. The Elven Prince would be the first, though, to grant Khadgar's request, that of unmasking himself so that the troubled mage could see the faces of those he was talking to. During that interrogation, they found out how the orcs came to the world, and they discussed what would be the best solution to deal with it. Kael'thas agreed that the best course of action against the orcs would be the destruction of the dark portal from which they came. Let's jump a little bit further in time, and this time it's 2 years later, and a group of Death Knights would invade Dalaran to steal the Eye of Dalaran from the Violet Hold. Now, the first that would meet the Death Knights is going to be Archmage Antonidas. Archmage Antonidas and the Death Knights will start what's basically a magic duel to kill the other. Now, during Antonidas' fight, Kael'thas and his friend Satkra, an elven woman with black hair, would materialize and they would try to help the Archmage. But here's where things become a little bit messy, shall we say. During their fight, Saktra would sacrifice herself to protect Antonidas. Now this thing, her death infuriated Kael'thas, and he tore some of the Death Knights limb by limb, forcing the rest of them to teleport out of there. Now, of course, that Antonidas and Kael'thas and some backup mages would come and go after them. And they've managed to. They followed them and the Death Knights were cornered. But unfortunately, dragons from the Black Flight came to their rescue and, you know, the Death Knights escaped the mages and left with the eye. It's time to jump a little bit more in time. The Second War ended. Now, it's time. Well, it was the time before the Third War. You were expecting me to say it's the time of the Third War. No. So, before the Third War, Kael'thas took an interest into Jaina Proudmoore, back then a young apprentice to Archmage Antonidas. Funnily enough, he took an interest in her after she tried to practice a fire spell that didn't go that well, and well, it ended up burning Kael'thas' eyebrows. I think he looked rather silly, but that's another thing. Here's the thing about the Prince of the High Elves back then. He was charming and had handsome features. That's what the books say, not me. But he was a little bit too regal for Jaina. And where if you add that, well, she still longed for Arthas, she had to refuse his many advances. And one of those advances was an invitation for her to see Quel'thalas, a land more magical than Dalaran. But while he had to deal with rejection, there might have been hope until Arthas came to Dalaran to visit Jaina. Now, during their first meeting, Arthas saw Kael'thas with jealousy, and he knew that the elf was strong. If push came to shove, the elf would win against him. But let's move a little bit further down the line. Arthas would soon after become a paladin, and he would come to Dalaran to start a hidden relation with Jaina, technically under the guise of he's there to learn more. Moving aside, their hidden relationship kept on for a little bit of time, but Kael'thas would surprise them once while they were lovey-dovey, you know? After the Elven Prince surprised them, he remarked that Arthas would be so secretive about his relationship with Jaina. But he did promise them that he wouldn't let anybody know about their relationship. And to his credit, he kept on to that promise. This next time skip is just about a few hours, and is during a dinner with Kael'thas, Antonidas, Arthas, and Jaina. And they would come into a little bit of a conflict, because Kael'thas would be on opposite side of Jaina, Arthas, and Antonidas, because he saw the interment camps and the liturgy of the orcs as proof of them, well, not being able to be people. He despised the orcs and their addiction to, well, what they knew as demonic magic. But you see, the other three stood by the principle that the orcs should be shown mercy, lethargic or not. Moving on a little, it's still before the Third War, and this time around, we're not focusing directly on Kael'thas, but more on the fact that he was there. And what we mean by that is the fact that right now, we're standing in front of two members of the Six that question another, and that other member is Kael'thas. Now, Kael'thas is not directly implicated during this process of expelling Kael'thas, but he would assist at what Antonidas brought as proof of the former dabbling into the forbidden arts. And it was basically a bunch of rat corpses kept in undead. Even the golden-haired high elf who had been sitting in the back of the room seemed startled, though Prince Kael'thas was a man whose age made that feat nearly impossible. Of course, Kael'thas would vote for the expulsion of Kael'thas from the Kirin Tor and from Dalaran. Time would pass once more, and this time tragedy would strike Quel'thalas while its prince was away in Dalaran. The paladin Arthas had just betrayed his own kingdom, and after his destruction, he laid his eyes upon Quel'thalas, marching upon Silvermoon and tainting the high elven forest around him in a race to destroy Silvermoon and defile the Sunwell. Tragically, 90% of all high elves would be killed in this onslaught, and one of those killed was King Kael'thas Sunstrider, that fought personally against Arthas. Kael'thas would find out about this while he was still in Dalaran. The news devastated the Elven Prince, and there, a remorseful Jaina tried to console him, but Kael'thas was stricken with sorrow and rage, and so he lashed at her. "Say nothing! Foolish girl! This is the monster you take to your bed!" Jaina would try to strengthen Kael'thas' resolve, yet his calmness was gone, now replaced by anger and fury. "Arthas is a butcher. He has slaughtered thousands of innocent people. There's so much blood on his hands that a whole ocean could never wash them clean. And you love him, chose him over me? You know nothing of suffering. You are a child with a child's mind and a child's heart. A heart that you will give to that. He slaughtered them, Jaina, and then he raised their corpses." Kael'thas cursed the humanity that gave birth to such a monster. He viewed himself as a fool to be so trustful of humans, to think that they could have aided him somehow. Kael'thas would leave Dalaran to go back to lead his people. In his words, what pathetically few remains. Kael'thas would leave for Quel'thalas, but first, he would have to send his most loyal assistant, the Magister Romath, to announce Lor'themar that the prince would be arriving soon. But you see, rather than let everybody know, the Magister advised caution and secrecy, to make sure no traitor would be prepared to hurt the prince. When the prince arrived, he was accompanied by a handful of archers, the royal guards of course, 2 priests, but there was no fanfare to his arrival. It was as he was just a commoner, surrounded by other people. His features made it clear that he was a member of the Sunstrider dynasty. Once he would arrive, Kael'thas would not be welcomed home by a cheering crowd, but rather his own subjects doubted him, saying things like, "Too late now. Leave as soon as he gets the chance. Why should we linger here anyway?" Lor'themar came to greet his prince, his king, and offer his gratitude to see him here safely. And true, Lor'themar had faced resistance while coming here, yet he would not use the word undead, like somehow he was scared of using it. Now, Kael'thas wanted to hold a speech, but his people started protesting him, asking how would they survive, what will they eat, how would Kael'thas, the prince, the king, know of their difficulties here. Defeated, Kael'thas asked Lor'themar to take him to see his father. King Anasterion, his father, was laid on a table in a tavern. Laying next to him was fellow Melron, his trusted sword and ancient weapon of the Quel'thalas. Lor'themar would leave Kael'thas to grieve, and Kael'thas did so. He cried and asked his father for strength to lead their people, to be the man he always wanted him to be. The same evening, the body of Anasterion Sunstrider would be burned in a funeral pyre. After that, Kael'thas would go on an isolation spree for the next 3 days. And those 3 days allowed more hate to grow, you know? In 3 days, that made distrust in the prince become even bigger among the populace. But on the morning of the 3rd day, he and the small entourage would go past the gate, offering no explanation about where they were going or what they would be doing. Later on, they would come back and retreat back to the tavern. This time around, the prince would have an object held in a cloth with him. Lor'themar was furious, to say in a way. He was furious. He feared that the population might start to revolt against the prince, and so Lor'themar wanted to go talk to his prince. But that talk never happened, because Kael'thas appeared in front of his people. Now, of course, the people were angry and furious at the prince, and Kael'thas himself was anxious. "I have been to the Sunwell," Kael'thas spoke. "I have sampled its energies, and my suspicion and the suspicion of my magistrates have been confirmed. The Sunwell has been fouled, defiled. Its energy is contaminated by necromancy. The undead have flocked to Quel'thalas, drawn like moths to a flame. And the same energy that calls to them, the same power that continues to pervade our beings, will spread throughout what is left of our kingdom, throughout the land itself, infecting, corrupting, poisoning with its all-consuming evil. A man from the crowd argued that they should leave Quel'thalas, abandon the Sunwell. But Kael'thas knew that this was an impossible thing. They were connected to the Sunwell, and no amount of distance could separate them from it. The only way to save themselves would be to destroy the Sunwell. Yet the people of Quel'thalas had another problem, one of which the prince didn't know of. Trolls. Lady Ladrin spoke. The Amani were preparing for war, but not against them, not against the elves, but against the undead at Quel'thalas. In a tavern, Kael'thas presented what object he had came with to Lortimar, Lady Ladrin, the magistrates, and Haldron. The moon crystal that was instrumental to breaking the defenses of Quel'thalas would be used to destroy the Sunwell. And what better time than when the Amani would attack the Scourge? Kael'thas would gather a few volunteers, and he would take them to try and destroy their former source of power, and now source of poison.
Slaughtered our remaining forces, and used the Sunwell to resurrect Kael'thas as a powerful lich, corrupting its waters beyond salvation. Our people would have soon suffered the same fate had we remained linked to its magic. With a heavy heart, Prince Kael'thas decided to destroy the Sunwell.
The time has come. May the light of the sun guide us to the very end.
Sound of cannons. The Amani have landed on the shore. We must hurry.
Cut down enough undead for us to pass, and leave the rest for the trolls. That will buy us the time we need.
The Sunwell. What has he done?
The soul of our people. Now a desecrated font of decay. It worsens with each sunrise.
Liadrin, guard the entrance. Let none pass.
We shall hold the line until the very end. Salama Ashalanor!
Hero, with me. Protect the Magisters at all costs. We must reach the Sunwell.
The ritual appears to be working. Magisters, maintain your focus. It is done! Roma, teleport us to safety!
Pleasantries can wait. Fight well.
Once the Sunwell was no more and the volunteers have returned, the people would cry, "Hail King Kael'thas!" Yet he would refuse this honor, declaring that King Anasterion, his father, was the last king of the High Elves. With a speech like none before, all the distrust his people held for him turned into honest trust and love. "We must put this misery behind us. We must enter a new chapter. And so I say to you that as of this day, we are no longer High Elves. In honor of the blood that was shed throughout this kingdom, in honor of the sacrifices of our brothers and sisters, our parents and our children, in honor of Anasterion, as of this day, we will take the name of our royal lineage. As of this day, we are Sin'dorei. We are Blood Elves." The crowd murmured the words of Sin'dorei and Blood Elves, and Kael'thas saw their acceptance of this new identity in honor of those lost. "For Quel'thalas!" the prince shouted, and his people, the Blood Elves, shouted back at him, "For Quel'thalas! Hail to the Sin'dorei!" After saving his people and earning their trust, Kael'thas appointed Lor'themar as Lord Regent in his absence, while he would be joining with the remnants of the Alliance in Lordran to get vengeance against the Scourge. There, he will also meet with a man that hated elves more than anything else, Grand Marshal Garithos. Yet, Kael'thas would continue. With fellow Melron in hand, he hoped to reforge it as a symbol of hope for his people. Yet his history is still filled with surprises and tragedy.
Our forces will be ready to move out soon, although we still know next to nothing about this strange land Illidan has run to.
This land is called Lordaeron, Maiev. It is the homeland of the Alliance that aided us at the Battle of Mount Hyjal. I was told that its kingdoms, both human and elven, were consumed by the undead Scourge. These forests have suffered grievously. I must leave you both for a time. I will enter the woods and attempt to commune with the land itself.
While you're gone, we'll set out and try to pick up Illidan's trail.
I expect you both to stay focused on your task. You can settle your personal dispute after we've found my brother.
Of course, Shondo. We'd best get moving.
This was an Alliance encampment. The attack must have come recently.
Strangers, my lord. They don't appear to be undead, but...
Ishnu Allah, Night Elves. I am Prince Kael'thas. I must admit, I'm surprised to see your kind here. But whatever your business, I fear you will find only death and shadow in this cursed land.
Ishnu Daldieb, Kael'thas. I am Maiev Shadowsong, and this is Tyrande Whisperwind. We are hunting a powerful demon that arrived here recently.
Curious. I don't know about any demon, but something's riled the undead based at Dalaran. They've been hounding us day and night. We were about to abandon this post and seek refuge on the other side of the river Quel'thalas.
Then we shall lend you our aid, young Kael.
Wait, we have no time for this.
Perhaps once your people are safe, you will help us hunt the demon we seek.
It would be an honor, milady.
Clumsy attacks. We are wasting time here, Tyrande. We should be out looking for Illidan.
These people need our help, Maev. Their brethren aided us against the Legion. We will honor that debt now.
We'll stop here for provisions. Sadly, I have only a few warriors left. The Scourge has pressed us hard these last few months.
Kael, where are your High Elven brethren? Do they not fight the undead as you do?
The Scourge devoured our ancient homeland of Quel'thalas. The once proud bloodline of my people is nearly spent. The few of us that remain now call ourselves Blood Elves, in homage to our murdered people.
I grieve for your people, Kael. But you must not allow rage and despair to poison your heart. You may yet lead your people to a brighter future.
Can wait no longer.
This is one of our last holdouts on this side of the river. We will rest here for a spell and gather reinforcements.
Strength is yours.
We stand at a crossroads, my friends. There is a shorter path to our destination, but it will take us perilously close to an undead bastion. The other route is safer, but it will take us longer to cross the river.
Both routes will be dangerous nonetheless. Let us choose quickly and be on our way. It awaits. The guilty will
This
suffer.
is the bastion I told you about. It must be destroyed if the caravan is to make it through. Ah, Pyrewood Village. The river Quel'thalas lies just beyond.
Something doesn't feel right.
Yes. Perhaps we should keep the caravan moving.
Damn! They were waiting for us! Protect the caravan at all costs!
We've driven them back, but the second wave is advancing.
We've run out of time. The caravan will not survive another assault.
Kael, get your caravan moving across the river. I will stay behind and hold the bridge.
That's very noble of you, priestess, but you're no match for a force that vast.
The goddess is my shield, Warden. Elune will grant me the strength.
It's working. She's holding them back.
Merciful gods.
We must hurry to save her. That current will take her straight into the heart of the undead lands.
No, Kael. Tyrande is a soldier. She knew the risks she took. We have a greater mission to accomplish now, and our time grows short. Your people are now safe. You will uphold your end of the bargain and help me hunt the demon I seek.
Maev, we've got to move quickly. Illidan is weaving a spell that is splitting apart the roof of the world. We must... Wait. Where is Tyrande?
I am sorry, Shando, but the priestess has fallen. We aided a band of Alliance warriors against the undead. The priestess fought valiantly, but I saw her torn apart with my own eyes.
Torn apart? Tyrande, my heart. I should have been there.
You can still avenge her, Shando. Let us attack Illidan together. He is the reason we even came to this forsaken place. He is the reason for your loss. Shando, this is Prince Kael'thas, the ally I spoke of.
Greetings, Great Druid. My scouts have confirmed that this Illidan and his vile snakes are based at the ruined city of Dalaran. They are using a gem-like artifact to perform some strange ritual.
They must be using the Eye of Sargeras. But why would they strike at the roof of the world?
It doesn't matter. They won't live long enough to finish their spell. Illidan must be stopped once and for all.
The Naga have captured some human paladins. If we could free them, they might aid us against Illidan.
No! The spell is not done! It is not done!
It is over, brother. Your vile schemes end here.
Illidan Stormrage, for recklessly endangering countless lives and threatening the very balance of the world, I hereby sentence you to death.
Too much blood has been spilled on your account, Illidan. Even now, I can feel the lands of Northrend reeling from the spell you cast. Imprisonment will not be enough this time.
I will execute him myself.
Fools! Can you not see? The spell we channeled was meant to strike at the undead, our common enemy. My mission was to destroy the Lich King's stronghold of Icecrown.
And no heed to the cost! Because of you, Tyrande is dead!
What?
Your pardon, Lord Stormrage, but the priestess may still be alive. She was swept downriver, but it's premature to simply assume
Silence,
that—
Kael.
You told me she was torn apart. You lied to me.
The betrayer's capture was our primary concern, Shondo. I needed your help. I knew you would go to her, and we would lose our chance.
Just who is the betrayer now, woman? I must go to her immediately.
Believe me, brother. Despite all our differences, you know that I would never lead Tyrande to harm. Let me help you. My Naga can scour the river for us. Let me do this, at least.
Very well.
What? After all he's done, you would trust this traitor?
Silence! I will deal with you later. Let's go, brother.
You are late, Prince Kael'thas. I thought you elves prided yourselves on punctuality.
it could not be helped, Lord Garithos. We ran into a group of night elves from across the sea, and—
I am not interested in your fanciful excuses. You elves are here to serve the Alliance. Thus you will obey my commands to the letter. Is that clear?
Yes, Lord Garithos.
Now, the undead have begun a new offensive to retake Dalaran. Their primary strike force marched south through Silverpine, but we managed to halt its advance at the base of the mountains.
My men are ready to fight, my lord. When shall we leave for the front?
We will be leaving immediately, but your people will be staying here. Our scouts report that a second strike force may be heading this way from the east. I need you to repair the outlying observatory so that we can monitor that region.
But, my lord, we are warriors, not—
You have your orders, Prince Kael'thas. I trust your elven ears heard them clearly enough. Move out!
Insolent son of a— Let's get this over with. That's done it. The observatory has been repaired. Let's move quickly and get to work on the other. Damn. We'll have to find a way across the lake to reach the outlying gold mine. Naga, you fought for the demon Illidan.
We are on our own now, good prince. I am called Lady Vash. My brethren and I come in peace to offer you our aid.
You have nothing I need, witch.
Is that so? I thought you might require boats to reach the observatories you seek.
And you would give these freely? Why should I trust you, my lady?
Our two races share a common ancestry, Kael. Now, against the undead, we share a common peril. These boats are merely a gesture of goodwill.
Then I accept your offer. Thank you. Hail, Lord Kael'thas. The observatories have been repaired as you requested. We were just about to—
I received ill news from the front line. Is it true that you've consorted with the vile Naga?
Well, yes, my lord. They helped us cross the lake. I assure you they pose no threat to us, or
They are inhuman, and must be crushed like any other enemy. Be careful where you place your loyalties, blood elf. I will not tolerate treason in my ranks. Now I must return to the front. You will remain here, and wait for further orders.
Greetings, Prince Kael. I bring word from Grand Marshal Kael'thas.
What news from the front?
Apparently, the observatories you repaired detected a large undead force massing nearby. Lord Kael'thas has commanded that you crush the undead before they can march on Dalaran.
That doesn't sound too difficult.
Unfortunately, your forces may be a little thin. You see, Lord Kael'thas has also ordered that all foot soldiers, cavalry, and support teams report to the front lines immediately. You men, move out!
This is preposterous. Am I to assault the undead with nothing but sticks and harsh language?
The Grand Marshal has great confidence in your abilities. Be creative.
Kael'thas. I'm starting to hate that man.
Prince Kael, they've taken over our outlying bases. We're completely surrounded.
Those bases are lost. We'll just have to improvise.
Ishnu Daldir, Prince Kael. We've come to join your fight against the vile dead.
Greetings, Lady Vash. I would welcome your aid gladly, but the commander I serve does not approve of your kind.
I do not see him here sharing your peril. Let me bolster your forces with my own. If not, you and your brethren will surely fall.
What you say is true, but I accept your offer, Vash.
Good. Let's get to it then.
You have my thanks, lady. This victory would not have been possible without your aid, though I fear I may have doomed myself by accepting it.
The human you served trusts no race but his own. His sense of honor runs no deeper than his tolerance.
It is loyalty and duty that bind me to him, and to this failing alliance. But now those tenets seem as distant as our ruined homeland. All I know is that my brethren and I hunger for something more.
Then perhaps, young Kael, it is time to find a new path to power and glory.
I can't explain it exactly, but ever since our homeland was destroyed, my brethren and I have felt empty, almost drained of our spirit. There is a hunger now that has hardened our hearts.
I know this hunger, Kael. Like us, your people are addicted to magic. It flowed through your veins for over 10,000 years. And now, with the corruption of your land and the Sunwell that empowered you,
we have been cut off from our power, from our birthright. Without a new source of magic, my people will surely die.
There are other founts of power in this world, Kael. Demons, for instance.
You speak of madness, my lady. We will never be that desperate.
Your aversion is understandable, but still.
Prince Kael, Grand Marshal Kael'thas has arrived. He has brought a full battalion with him.
Damn. Vash, you'd best leave. I cannot guarantee your people's safety.
Naga warriors!
Forget about them! So, Kael, You've shown your true colors at last. I knew you were in league with those serpents. Now I have all the proof I need to execute every traitorous one of you.
Please, my lord, spare my men. It was my decision to—
Save your breath. I never trusted you, vainglorious elves. It was a mistake to accept you into the Alliance in the first place. Now, at long last, you'll be dealt with appropriately. Take them away!
Happen to my brethren. Locked in these cells, our thirst for magic will devour us.
It'll all be over soon, traitor. Lord Kael'thas plans to execute the lot of you at dawn.
Sunrise can't get here fast enough. These elves give me the creeps.
Don't worry. This prison was built by the Kirin Tor to keep their pets from getting loose. The elves' magic is useless inside those enchanted cells.
Greetings, Kael. I assume we're not too late?
On the contrary, Vash, your timing is impeccable. Once again, I am in your debt. But even if we free my brethren, there is nowhere to run. Kael'thas' forces outnumber us 10 to 1.
You stand at a dangerous crossroads. You can either stay here and be slaughtered by human hands, or choose a darker path to freedom.
What is this darker path?
In the city above us stands a portal, a gateway that leads to other worlds.
Yes, I know it. The Lich, Kael'thas opened it to bring Archimonde here.
Yes. My master Illidan awaits us on the other side of that portal. Lead your people to him, and he will forge you a new destiny. He will sate your people's burning hunger.
Side with a rogue demon, or lead my people to their certain deaths. There is no choice here, Vash. We'll have to free my lieutenants first. They'll be able to rally the others while we assault the exit.
As you will.
I sense powerful spirits stirring nearby. Arthas murdered a number of Archmagi when the Scourge ravaged this land. Now the wizard's invisible spirits can find no rest. Perhaps we should track them down and give them peace. I sense something elusive. Outstanding. Avenged. It shall be done. I feel edgy. I'll do my best. It shall be done. Outstanding.
Ram.
It shall be done.
You. Ram. You.
I'll do my best. It shall be done. My pleasure.
The blasted elves are free! We can't take them alone.
We don't have to. We can loose these creatures on them.
You've gone as far as you're going to go, Prince Kael. Make it easy on yourself.
You served the Kirin Tor well, Kasan, but the old order has passed away. My people and I are leaving this damn prison, one way or another.
It's a shame to see a good wizard gone bad. Do what you have to do, lad.
My brethren are assembled, Bosch. Now all we need to do is reach this portal of yours,
Hold, good prince. We'll need to keep the portal open long enough to usher everyone through. But Kael'thas' forces will likely attack it before we can make our escape.
Then I will hold him at bay. I'll buy you all the time you'll need. Quickly, my brethren, take your positions. Kael'thas' forces will be here any moment.
We have reached the portal, Kael. Now we'll attempt to open it.
Prince Kael, the other engineers and I helped to build Dalaran's original defenses. We could salvage materials from these ruins and construct whatever defensive towers you need.
Glad to hear it. You'd best get moving.
Blasted elves. I knew they'd try something like this. Forget about those damn towers. I want that portal destroyed. Those traitors aren't going anywhere. Use these explosives on the portal. Whoever destroys the portal will be a hero.
We've done it. The portal is open. Let the exodus begin.
Well done, Vash. If we build more strategic towers, we should be able to hold off Kael'thas' forces long enough for our people to get through.
You'd better be right. If the portal falls, none of us will survive. Kael, everyone is through. Fall back and we'll close the portal behind us.
All right, men, pull back! Back to the portal!
Now, young prince, we take one final step towards destiny.
What is this desolate place, Vash?
This shattered world is called Outland, young prince. It is all that remains of Draenor, the former homeland of the Orcish horde.
Amazing. I remember when Khadgar led the Alliance expedition here years ago. He almost succeeded in transporting it for good. In an attempt to escape, Ner'zhul opened a number of massive dimensional gateways. But all they succeeded in doing was tearing the planet apart.
Yes. And now, amongst the ruins of this dead world, we have come to find the Master.
Illidan. Why here? What could possibly interest him in this barren wasteland?
That I do not know. Regardless, we should seek him out quickly.
Agreed. Actually, I'm anxious to meet him again. If he can cure my people of their hunger for magic, I will gladly pledge myself to his service. This place is unnerving. We've marched for 3 days and seen no signs of life. Still, I can't shake the feeling that we're not alone out here.
We aren't. I caught the scent just as the wind shifted. Night elves. What could they be doing here?
The warden, Maiev, swore to capture Illidan at any cost. She must have brought her warriors here to hunt him. There! Illidan lies chained in that cage! The Night Elves must be taking him to their stronghold.
Then we must rescue him before they reach safety.
Lady Vash, your rescue was most timely. The thought of spending another 10,000 years in Maiev's prison was not a pleasant one.
We could not forsake you, Lord Illidan, but you owe your freedom to them.
Who are they, Vash? The young elf looks familiar, but...
They call themselves the Blood Elves, my lord. They are the last mortal descendants of the Highborn, who served you long ago. This is Prince Kael'thas. He and his brethren have come to bask in your wisdom and pledge themselves to your will.
You were right to come to me, Kael. I share the pain of your addiction, your hunger for magic.
Can you help us, Lord Illidan? Can you cure us?
There is no cure, young one. But there are ways to feed the hunger. Follow me, and I will grant your people more magic than they can imagine.
So be it. Lord Illidan, my fellow Blood Elves and I humbly pledge ourselves to your service.
Then arise, young Kael. You shall be my right hand, and the harbinger of my wrath.
What of your plans, Master?
Many months after the Legion's defeat at the Battle of Mount Hyjal, I was visited by one of the last great demon lords, Kil'jaeden.
Illidan, in the past you have been both friend and foe to the Burning Legion. But by consuming the skull of Gul'dan, you sealed our defeat in this world. I come to offer you a second chance to serve us.
What would you have me do, Great One?
My creation, the Lich King, has betrayed me. He dared to break the pact that binds him to my will. But his spirit still lies trapped inside the frozen throne of Icecrown. Destroy it for me, and I will grant you your heart's desire.
It shall be done, Great One. It shall be done. At Dalaran, I attempted to use the Eye of Sargeras to melt away the polar ice caps surrounding the Icecrown Glacier. If the spell had succeeded, the Lich King would have been vanquished forever.
But the cursed Night Elves intervened.
And the spell went awry. Given my failure, I fled to this desolate place to evade Kil'jaeden's wrath. Now, if I am to remain here in exile, we will need to ensure that Kil'jaeden's agents have been cleansed from the land. Long ago, after Draenor's explosion, a brutal pit lord named Magtheridin rallied the surviving orcs and took control of Outland. Since then, his forces have grown strong.
How, Master? If most of the orcs were killed when this world exploded, how has he bolstered his ranks?
By using the very portals that tore the planet apart. Many of Ner'zhul's dimensional gates still stand, young prince. Magtheridin lures scores of hapless demons through them daily.
Then we must seal them permanently.
Yes. We will seek out each of the gates, and I will close them myself. Once they have been sealed, we will move against Magtheridin's Black Citadel and claim Outland as our own.
Magtheridin's forces have besieged that Draenei village. If we drive them back, the Draenei will join us in our fight.
I am Akama, Elder Sage of the Draenei. Lord Illidan promised to rid us of our ancient enemies in exchange for our loyalty. These cursed orcs serve Magtheridin, a terrible lord whose black citadel lies to the west. Under his command, the orcs hunted us to the brink of extinction. But now, with Lord Illidan behind us, we will fight back and retake our ancestral lands.
We also serve Illidan, Old One.
Very well, stranger.
We've done it, Master. The dimensional gates are all sealed. There's no way for Magtheridin to call reinforcements now.
True, but his standing forces are still considerable. Assaulting his Black Citadel will not be easy, Kael.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Our enemies draw near, Lord Magtheridin. These upstarts are tiresome gnats, nothing more. The might of Magtheridon cannot be denied. I am the Lord of Outland. Those who dispute my rule will soon regret their folly.
Magtheridon has grown strong over the years, but he has had few real foes to contend with. He has become decadent and complacent. The boisterous cur cannot match our cunning or our will.
This will be a glorious battle, Master. Though Magtheridon's forces vastly outnumber ours, your warriors are prepared to fight to the end.
I am pleased by your people's zeal, young Kael. Their spirits and powers have been honed in this harsh wilderness. Their courage alone may be enough to...
Lord Illidan, new arrivals come to greet you.
We Draenei have fought the orcs and their demon masters for generations. Now at last, we will end their curse forever. We are yours to command, Lord Illidan.
As I promised, your people shall have their vengeance, Akama. By night's end, we will all be drunk with it. Vash, Kael, give the final order to strike. The hour of wrath has come.
I do not know you, stranger, but your power is vast. Are you an agent of the Legion? Have you been sent to test me?
I have come to replace you. You're a relic, Magtheridon. A ghost of a past age. The future is mine. From this moment on, Outland and all of its denizens will bow to me. Hear me now, you trembling mortals. I am your lord and master. Illidan reigns supreme.
What is this, Vash? Where did this storm come from?
Keep your head down, fool. Something terrible is drawing near.
Foolish little mongrel. You failed to destroy the frozen throne as I commanded. And still you thought to hide from me in this forsaken backwater. I thought you to be more cunning, Illidan.
Kil'jaeden, I was merely set back. I was attempting to bolster my forces. The Lich King will be destroyed. I promise you.
Indeed. Still, these servitors you've gathered show some promise. I will give you one last chance, Illidan. Destroy the frozen throne, or face my eternal wrath.
Perhaps hiding here was not the most prudent decision. Still, the quest lies before us. Will you follow me into the cold heart of death itself?
The Naga are yours to command, Lord Illidan. Where you go, we follow.
The Blood Elves are yours as well, Master. We will drive the Scourge before us and shatter the frozen throne as you command.
These elves are pathetic. It's no wonder we destroyed their homeland so easily.
Pity I wasn't there to stop you. It's been a long time, Arthas.
Prince Kael'thas, I haven't seen you since... You lead these elves?
This group, at least. What you faced here was merely a scouting force. Defeating Lord Illidan's army will be far more difficult.
Illidan? He's behind this invasion?
He is. Our forces are vast, Arthas. Even now they march upon the Ice-Crown Glacier. You'll never make it in time to save your precious Lich King. Consider this payment for Quel'thalas and other insults.
Make haste. My enemies draw near. Our time is almost spent. Are you well, Death Knight?
My powers are weakening, but I'll be alright. He's right. We'll never reach the glacier in time.
There is another route we might take, Death Knight. The ancient shattered kingdom of Azul-Narub lies deep below us. Though it has fallen on dark times, it could provide us a direct shortcut to the glacier.
We have little choice. Lead on, Anubarak. Time's running out, Anubarak. We've got to get inside the throne chamber before Illidan does.
The throne chamber lies within the frozen peak at the center of the valley. It can only be opened by activating the 4 enchanted obelisks that surround it. Illidan's forces have already entrenched themselves near 2 of them. We'll need to drive them back and reactivate the obelisks ourselves.
We're sorry to interrupt your meditation, Master, but all our forces are in place.
Once the chamber is opened, we will destroy the frozen throne, as promised.
Then the hour has come at last. After today, the Scourge will meet its end. Can you hear me out there, Arthas? Its end!
Illidan has mocked the Scourge long enough. It's time we put the fear of death back in him. Are you still upset that I stole Jaina from you, Kael?
You've taken everything I've ever cared for, Arthas. Vengeance is all I have left.
After Arthas and Illidan will have an epic fight, of course Illidan would be defeated, and that will leave the Naga and the Blood Oaths with an injured commander. So Lady Vash and Kael'thas decided to drag Illidan's body from there, and they went back to Outland to hide from the wrath of Kil'jaeden. A month would pass after Arthas' ascension as the Lich King, and Illidan would finally recover from his injuries. There he would order that Mactiridan be moved to Hellfire Citadel. It would also be then that Illidan would be informed that Kael'thas took his Blood Oaths to close a Legion portal in the Netherstore, a very rich mana zone in Outland. Speaking about the Blood Oaths, you have to understand that when Kael'thas went to Outland, he only took like 15% of the remaining Blood Oaths with him, and they were taken with him to find a cure for their addiction. But Kael'thas wouldn't forget his duties to the Sindarai, to his people, and so Kael'thas sent his ever-loyal servant, Grand Magister Romat, to teach the remaining Blood Oaths how to drain magical powers from objects and creatures. Back in Silvermoon, through Grand Magister Romat, of course, Kael'thas proclaimed Lortimer Theron as Regent Lord of Quel'thalas, until the prince would rejoin them. Now, you see, during the negotiation for the Blood Oaths to enter the Horde, it is presumed that Kael'thas provided information to the Blood Oaths in Azeroth that there are still uncorrupted orcs in Outland, as a way to garner the favors of the Orc War Chief, Thrall. Now, time would pass since Illidan's defeat, and he, at this point, would create an army of demon hunters to invade the homeworld of the Burning Legion, Argus. Among the ranks of the demon hunters, some of Kael'thas' best warriors were incorporated. Kael'thas thought that he could use the same method as the demon hunters used to satisfy their hunger. But the more fell magic he consumed, the more paranoid he became, thinking himself as a failure to his people, and he really thought that was the way they viewed him. Some believe that because of the fell magic he consumed, he became more unstable. At this point, Kael'thas was second-guessing his leaving to Outland, probably not thinking how the other option would have been execution for him and his people. But yet he thought this mission to be a failure. since he was no closer to finding a cure to his people's addiction, and he didn't want to return to Quel'thalas without a cure. Now, as we all know, the devil comes to you in your worst moments. And it was in this state of turmoil and despair that Kael'thas was visited by Kil'jaeden. You see, like any devil, Kil'jaeden tried to sway Kael'thas to his side, telling him how Illidan only sees him and his people as tools, how he secretly keeps the cure for their addiction from them. And, like the devil, Kil'jaeden promised him a solution to his problems, if only he would reject his current master and follow him instead. Now, initially, Kael'thas refused, but the poison that Kil'jaeden put in his mind started to spread, and more doubts started to creep in Kil's mind. Now, sometime after that, Kael'thas would send one of his best generals to assault Shatra City, Vorental the Seer. He would also ask Illidan to let his demon hunters assist in the attack. Of course, Illidan refused, and that angered the prince, making his doubts grow even stronger. But you know what didn't help Kil? That Vorental and his men would throw their weapons and deflect to the side of Shatra City. You have to understand that some of Kil's best magistrates were part of that army. And of course, Kil saw this as a sign of his own failure and inability to lead his people. Now, remember that Kael'thas wasn't happy with Illidan not helping him? Well, that wouldn't get any better because Illidan would become more and more absorbed in his plan to defeat the Burning Legion. And that would make Illidan grow more distant to his other servants, Akama, Lady Vash, and yes, Kael'thas and his Blood Elves. You see, not telling anybody about his plan didn't help Illidan. The rift between him and Kael'thas would only grow, with Kil ending up believing that Illidan had abandoned his promise to his people. The Cinderai Prince turned to the promise of the devil, having no other option left. After taking Kil'jaeden's offer, Kael'thas and his servants would claim the magic-rich zone of Netherstorm. And while they're in a big act of FU to the Kirin Tor and to Dalaran, he ordered the destruction of Kirin-Var, a village created by the Kirin Tor during the invasion of Draenor in the Second War. Now you see, Kil would forcibly take the Tempest Keep by slaughtering all the Draenei that lived there. The Draenei had to escape in their spaceship, the Exodar, their last remaining one, to avoid being butchered for the third time this time around. They really can't get a break, can they? But while fleeing, they left behind an important asset, the Naru Muru. This Naru would be sent to Silvermoon City so that the remaining Blood Elves could feed upon his powers. From time to time, Kael'thas would send mana cells harvested in the Netherstorm, and his people back on Azeroth still looked at him as a benevolent prince that still cared about his people. But that impression would change once the dark portal that brought the orcs into Azeroth opened again. You see, the Horde and Alliance started entering into Outland, and Kael'thas and his Sun Fury Blood Elves, as they were called back then, would welcome Blood Elf pilgrims into their ranks. Yet Kael'thas seemed to care little for them, and the pilgrims found themselves disillusioned once they have been granted menial tasks and servitude. Now, I'm going to say this here because it's going to be important for the future, and I don't really know where else to put this. Illidan, before he started to isolate himself with his plan, granted both Lady Vash and Kael'thas the Vials of Eternity. You see, those vials contain the magical waters from the Well of Eternity. The same water that created the Sunwell. Keep that in mind as we go further down this rabbit hole. It's gonna be very important later on. Okay, good. Now that you have that in your brain pocket, let's talk about how the Alliance and the Horde found out about Kael'thas' deal with Kil'jaeden. And they would find out while Vorental would interrogate, let's say that, deserting Blood Elves from the Sun Fury. Now, during the time the Horde and the Alliance were entering Outland, Kael'thas would send spies into Shadowmoon Valley to investigate upon the findings of the Earthen Ring. And from there, Kael'thas would gain an important weapon, the Cipher of Damnation, which is presumably the same spell that Gul'dan used to serve the connection between the land and the orcs. Also presumably the same spell that was used by the Dark Iron Dwarves to summon Ragnaros. Now Khadgar and the Naru Adal would try to sabotage Kael'thas' plan regarding the Cipher of Damnation. After Khadgar and Adal would recover the Cipher of Damnation, they would enact a plan to attack Kael'thas' Tempest Keep and end his threat upon Shatra and the rest of Outland.
Energy. Power. My people are addicted to it. A dependence may manifest after the Sunwell was destroyed. Welcome to the future. A pity you were too late to stop it. No one can stop me now. Salam Ashalamore. Let us see how your nerves hold up against the Darkener, Thaladred.
Prepare yourselves!
You have persevered against some of my best advisors, but none can withstand the might of the Bloodhammer. Behold, Lord Sanguinar.
Blood for blood.
See to it that your stay here is a short one.
Thus endure I reign supreme! I'm out of range. I don't have a target.
You have proven worthy to test your skills against my master engineer, Telonicus.
Anarala Balore!
I need to target something first.
As you see, I have many weapons in my arsenal. Perhaps I underestimated you. It would be unfair to make you fight all 4 advisors at once, but fair treatment was never shown to my people. I'm just returning the favor.
Wait.
Alas, sometimes one must take matters into one's own hands.
I have come this far to be stopped! The future I have planned will not be jeopardized! Now you will taste true power! Valore.
But that wasn't the end for Kael'thas. He would survive the attack on Tempest's Keep, and after that he would project himself in front of Adol to mock him for his failure. Good. So we saw that. The Alliance and the Horde revealed a bit more preoccupied because they set their eyes upon the Black Citadel, and, well, of course, Illidan. And Kael'thas, since he survived, he would be returning home. Finally, the promised prince of the Sin'dorei has come back, but not the handsome and noble prince of the Sunstrider dynasty, but more an insane, wretched abomination that did not come with salvation, but with doom. Because Kael'thas would use his vial of eternity to reinvigorate the Sunwell, not to cure the addiction of his people, but to bring forth Kil'jaeden and start a new invasion of the Burning Legion, to recreate the events of the Well of Eternity. He would take residence in Magistrate's Terrence upon Quel'thalas, and there he was preparing to summon his Demon Lord. Until...
So smug. I know what you're thinking. But Tempest's Keep was merely a setback. Did you honestly believe I would trust the future to some blind, half-night elf mongrel? Oh, no. He was merely an instrument, a stepping stone to a much larger plan. It has all led to this. And this time, you will not interfere.
The Madden Prince fought his attackers, but ultimately, he failed once more.
I'll turn your world upside down. My demise accomplishes nothing. The Master will have you. You will drown in your own blood. The world shall burn!
In the end, the Sunwell would end up being reforged thanks to the Naru Muru. Kael'thas' betrayal made it possible for the Sunwell to be remade. And, funnily enough, Kael'thas finally brought the cure to his people. His last remains lay in Quel'thalas.
Energy. Power. My people are addicted to it. A dependence made manifest after the Sunwell was destroyed. Welcome to the future. A pity you're too late to stop it. No one can stop me now. Salama Ashalanore.
Energy. Power. My people are addicted to it. A dependence made manifest after the Sunwell was destroyed. Welcome to the future. A pity you are too late to stop it. No one can stop me now. Salama Ashalanore.
For Quel'thalas!
For Quel'thalas!
Don't look so smug. I know what you're thinking. But Tempest Keep was merely a setback. Did you honestly believe I would trust the future to some blind, half-night elf mongrel? Oh, no. He was merely an instrument. A stepping stone to a much larger plan. It has all led to this. And this time, you will not interfere.
Don't look so smug. I know what you're thinking. But Tempest Keep was merely a setback. Did you honestly believe I would trust the future to some blind, half-night elf mongrel? Oh, no. He was merely an instrument, a stepping stone to a much larger plan. It has all led to this. And this time, you will not interfere.
My demise accomplishes nothing! The Master will have you! You will drown in your own blood! The world shall burn!
My demise accomplishes nothing! The Master will have you! You will drown in your own blood! The world shall burn!
The time has come. May the light of the sun guide us to the very end.
The time has come. May the light of the sun guide us to the very end.
The soul of our people, now a desecrated font of decay. It worsens with each sunrise.
The soul of our people, now a desecrated font of decay. It worsens with each sunrise.
Kel'thas, the defiler of the Sunwell. At last I will claim justice for Silvermoon!
Kael'thas, the defiler of the Sunwell. At last I will claim justice for Silvermoon!
I thought my deal with Kil'jaeden would save the Sindori, but it just got worse all the time!
I thought my deal with Kil'jaeden would save the Sindori, but it just got worse all the time.
All shall suffer my wrath! By the power of the sun! Philomin Nashal! Fire consume you! I am not finished! Let me be free! I can feel my strength returning. I cannot withstand this torment! My rage burns like 1,000 suns! No, I will not be confined again! No more! The world shall burn! Once I break these bonds, you will be the first to burn! Rise from the ashes! So, those who killed me are here to save me. Oh, surely you can do better! Yes, my power, it returns! You must be joking. You shall all be engulfed in flame! I look forward to our time together. Renithal's traitors! Gods, stop them! Sunstrider belongs to us. Wrath is your most potent sin, Sunstrider. It will serve us well.
Darkest greetings, Walker.
No sacrifice without suffering. In his current state, Kael'thas Sunstrider is a danger to everyone. The very
Out of my way!
arrogance that
I shall
doomed you
avenge
in
my
life.
people!
Impudent child! You do not give orders here! The very arrogance that doomed you in life. Help me identify the true sins of Kael'thas Sunstrider. What character flaw most hindered Kael'thas? Jealousy? Arrogance? Or greed?
Jealousy? Please. I was superior to him in every way. I never had need for gold. I had riches and power to spare.
Your arrogance swells within you, like so many other tyrants. When the Sunwell was destroyed, and Kael'thas was desperate to regain a magical connection for his people, who did he surrender his will to? The Lich King? The old gods? Or the Burning Legion?
Never! That monster took everything from me! The old gods held no sway over me.
Kil'jaeden exploited your arrogance, paranoia, and obsession to bend you to his will. I have found the heaviest burden on Kael'thas Sunstrider's soul. How did Kael'thas fail his people? Did he abandon his people? Betray his people? Or corrupt his people? Kael'thas Sunstrider committed all of these sins against his own people.
You cannot judge me. I did what was needed to save my people.
You did what you wanted, and everyone else bore the consequences. Kael'thas Sunstrider, you failed your people. You will continue to unravel if we do not extract the excess anima from your soul, Kael'thas. I will take you to a place where we may expunge that anima in a productive manner.
This place is in shambles.
So are you. That is why we are here. No sacrifice without suffering. You must humble yourself to avoid extinction, Kael'thas. I will prepare the ritual while you prepare yourself.
If you have something to say, then say it. I am to expend my anima on the prince's pet? These ones demand so much of my anima! The accuser means to humiliate me! My anima is wasted on such trifling beings.
Darkwall Tower belongs to me now.
You call this a challenge? I shall burn your world to ashes.
No, you will show her mercy. Your enemy will live.
Mercy is a weakness. She will pay.
You are weakness. Your obsessive arrogance blinds you. Every soul can be redeemed, if it desires to be. This ritual will help you expel the excess anima trapped inside of you, Kael'thas. It will hurt, but no more than you deserve. Now, Kael'thas! Expel the anima!
No! I want its power!
Impotent fool! That anima binds your sin stone! Release it, or I will throw you into the maw myself!
Ah!
Stand down! I will deal with this manifestation.
I am free.
This was but the first of countless sacrifices you must make to atone for your sins, Kael'thas. No sacrifice without suffering.
Opportunity to test out my new weapon. We are in league with a lich. The accuser must allow us to hunt down and destroy it.
The Tithe Lord will have your head.
No forgiveness without atonement. I must inform Prince Renathal of the Maldraxxus threat immediately. I am placing Kael'thas under your care, Mawwalker. Humble him. We are the only thing standing between you and oblivion, Kael'thas.
And what would you ask of me? People were massacred. Our sacred font of magic defiled. All to raise a lich in undeath. I will incinerate this one with the heat of 1,000 suns.
The death of the Master surely means...
The Master's removal changes nothing. Tell Lady Wixera that I am still in charge, and... My carriage is upstairs. We will finish this discussion on the way. Now that we are away from itching ears, you can reassure Lady Wixera that our plan remains intact.
Stoneborn brutes are strong.
We may even
but
be
their
able to
aim leaves
increase the
something to
rates
be
that we are
desired.
supplying her with.
Help them
ammo.
deploy aid to our allies on the battlements below. That would please the Archlich greatly.
Of course it would. Inform your lady I am still in charge. Everything will proceed unless she fails to uphold her side.
The Archlich will not allow her failure.
Until you need me, yet again, you need not bind me. I would never quit the chance to destroy a lich. Suppose I have time to listen.
So you fools have discovered us at last. Unbind me! What magic is this?
Why are you sending Anima to Mount Jaxus? Who do you serve? Answer me!
You cannot stop my master. He is allied with the...
I will return. Who is your master?
I serve the mighty Kael'thas, and he will conquer all of...
Kael'thas, the defiler of the Sunwell. At last, I will claim justice for Silvermoon! Make no mistake. I will have my vengeance.
We will execute the will of the Archlich!
But I suppose I can afford a measure of patience. Be sure to inform the accuser of my selflessness.
Allow me to take Kael'thas off your hands.
Come closer, my new friend.
We
Tide
are
Lord is
doomed,
no
so it is
ordinary
true.
enemy. You
The
will need a
Tide
great
Lord is
deal of
working with
strength to topple him.
Maldraxxus. We must plan our next move carefully. No more surprises.
I shall extract more information from the souls we recovered from the Master's lair.
And I shall reach out to my most trusted contacts in Maldraxxus.
Come, Kael'thas. You served well today, but nothing has been atoned for.
You speak of atonement. It is the Lich Kel'thas who will atone for his crimes. I will burn his icy bones to ash.
Focus on yourself. Your hatred will only hinder you.